I'm Carl K. Tuyor, and today I am performing post-mortem or care of body after death. So, the basic concept of the post-mortem care is an independent nursing procedure done to the body after death. It is a continuation of quality of care to a patient. So for the objectives, it is to clean the patient's body. Second is to prepare the body from the morgue. And three, to make body appear natural and comfortable as possible for deceased. So in preparation for post-mortem, first is to assess the death that has been pronounced by the physician. Second, determine the cause of death. 3. Determine the client's religion, culture, and beliefs. 4. Prepare the materials needed. And 5. Always provide privacy. Like, for example, assuming that this side is occupied by the curtains and this side curtains as well, so that it will provide the patient's privacy even though he or she is dead. So 6, wear always clean gloves. So we have our gloves in here. Always clean. This one. So we are done. Our wearing gloves, since I am wearing gloves. So 7 is change the linen or blanket to bath blanket. So we have to put this on the top of the patient and pull it down. And just like open the other side. And the other side too. So that the patient's body is not dili siya makitaan even though patay na siya. So we have to fan folded so that we can change. And then we have to hold the bath blanket and the top sheet. And we can get this blanket, this top sheet rather, and place it into our basket. And then we have to fix it. So like that. So we are done changing the linen or blanket to a bath blanket. So for the first procedure, so we have to straighten the body of the patient. So it is easy for us to move or pull or her. And then if the patient has a dentures, we have to place them back, and we have to keep the mouth and eyes closed. And also we have to place the gauze around his or her head, so that ma-close gid ang iyang eyes and mouth. So assuming that it is spaced very well, since he is a teddy bear, he or she a teddy bear. So for the second one, we have to remove all the appliances, jewelry, and endorse it properly. So if the patient has tubings, IV, NGT, catheter, we have to remove all of them so that we can place the patient very well. And if the patient is need pa siya a autopsy, we are dili na to siya pwede pang tanggalon ang iyang mga tubings, iyang tanan all nga naka equipment nga naa sa iyaha if ang patient is a autopsy pa. And if na siya mga jewelry, we need to remove it. And every area of her or his body that has jewelry or anything, we have to remove it. Okay. And then, so the next, assuming that we removed all the appliances or jewelry, so the next thing to do is to move the body near your working area. So since I am here, I have to move my patient near in my working area. Okay, done. My patient is near me. So the next thing to do is to bath the patient. And the first thing is his or her face. And we have to get our washcloth with water and soap. So So here, our soap. And then from his or her side of his head, face, we have to wash it, and down to her or his neck or leg, and then to the other side. And if it is done, we have to rinse it with water. This one with our water. And the same thing we do earlier. In his face or her, down to his or her leg. Then into the other side. So next, so the last is the Lysol. Considering or assuming that this is a Lysol. So, the same thing we do earlier. Down to his neck and then to the other side. And done. The next thing is that atong ipagawas ang extremities, or I should say ang bukton or ang kamot. And after that, we have to ipagawas ang extremities or bukton in order us to wash his or her hand. And then the same thing we do, we have to wash cloth with water. And we have to wash it from distal to proximal. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next is the water. One, 2, 3, 4. And don't forget the armpit. Okay. And then our Lysol. One, 2, 3, 4. And then we have to dry his or her hands by patting motion. Dry his or her extremities in patting motion. And then for the other thing is to wash his or her hands with soap and water. Assuming that I am putting a water on his or her hands. And then second is to wash it with water. And then the last is the Lysol. And the same thing we do on the other side, we have to do it onto the other hand. And then we have, since we are done into the top side, today we are down to the lower side. So right here we have to fold since this is the ibali mo na siya ang tiil. So we have to put the first, we are going to the first part of the foot or leg. That one. So we have to get our water with soap. Then from there to upward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to assist the lower. And the next is the water. Rinse with water. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then last, our Lysol. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then pat to dry. And then next is the foot, like this one here. So first, the soap with water. Okay. And then next is rinse it with water. Assuming that we wash the foot. And then last is the Lysol. And then pat to dry. And we have to remove the linen, and we have to go on the other side too. We have to make that procedure into the other side of the leg. So considering that we nahuman na kibali na to ni diri ang diri kaninga side, considering or assuming na nahuman na nato, so we have to cover na back to the original side form. Okay, so next is the perineum, but it is optional to wash their private area. So now we are going to change the soil dressing. So ato, if na siya mga sinina, ato siyang ilisan. So next is we have to get our continent pad. So assuming that this is our content pad, this one. So we have to move the patient that side. And then we have, assuming that we have rails in here, we have to pull it up or ipaibabaw na to ang rails for the safetyness of the patient. And then move the patient to that side. And then down the rails. And then also we have to get our cotton balls and we have to place it sa iyang ilong, like for assuming that nasa ilong diri. Suksok na to ito. And then the other is to the vagina or in the anus. So the next thing that we do is to fold the hands, or we can make it cross. So it's easy if naka-cross siya, but napod siya ilain way to pwede po siya kuan lang nato ihikot ang hands niya yan. So and like kibali ay anaon na to siya. So we have to get our gauze to para mahikot na to siya. And then we have to get our tags. We have to place our tags, assuming that this is a safety pins. We have to put the tags on the gauze, not on the skin or on the part of the body's patient. So after that, we have to cover again the patient. So and the next thing we do is that we have to change the blanket and place a clean blanket. So we have to get this, and from so from this side, from the head part, and we have to move the patient on that side. then we have to raise the railings so that the patient will not. It is. Then put the patient on that side so that we can tira the and then we have to pull down the railings again. So next is we have to ihikot na to ang iyahang tiil og gauze. Then cover. And the next thing we do is we have to fold na. Fold this one. So, dapat mag-una kita sa tiil. So, we have to and then next is on this other side. You have to pull na hinay-hinay. And then into this side. And then to that side. Para pull ito siya. And then we have to get this and put it into the hamper. We have to fold it properly and then we have to get our safety pins. So we have two pin in here. Then this one and the side. And then we have to place a tag also. Pwede sab diri, pwede sab siya dili. So we have to pin in here. And then sa head part, intended ni siya na naibilin para if ever napay family nga mutanaw Pwede rin nato siya i-close. One. And if napay mo tanaw, pwede pa siya ma-open. Kita iyahang face. Okay. So, the other thing to do is to get a new sheet to cover the patient. We have to cover all the body's patient. So, have to that one. Then this one. You have to open. Then cover the patient. After we cover the patient, let's do the aftercare. So we have to remove our gloves. And wash our hands. So, assuming that we are done with washing our hands, we have to document the time or cessation of the vital signs, person notified time of notification, and list and document of valuable and personal effects, time body removed from unit, destination and removed, by whom, other relevant information. And last, bring the cadaver to the morgue. So that's all for the post-mortem care, or the body, or the care of the body after death. So this is Carl K. Toyor from N16. Thank you.